Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
Welcome to the Rawkwardness podcast, where we convince musicians to play us one of the first songs they ever wrote and tell us about how they got into writing in the very beginning. We talk about what kept them going and what they're up to now. We're your hosts. I'm Rose Sean.
I'm Terence Leclerc.
And I'm Tony Tancredi.
This is, in my personal opinion, a very special episode.
Yes.
Our guest today came so prepared with so much good stuff to share. I cannot wait for you to hear it. Lindsey Rose Black is a singer, songwriter, and actress. She started acting very young. You may remember her from the Disney show As the Bell Rings with Demi Lovato. In 2022, she put out an EP called Subterra, which is produced by our pal and episode 5 guest John Velasquez and her sweetie Matt Frazier.
Woo, John and Matt, love you guys.
Subterra has gotten some great press and playlisting placements, and honestly is just really damn good.
Yeah.
This episode is jam-packed with gold, so stay tuned for some old recordings, new level of things that Tony can do. Wait for it.
Yeah.
And Lindsey shows us our own full circle moment.
Indeed.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, I think I would describe it as like country bunny that loves avant-garde art.
Oh, that's so sweet. We have so much good stuff. And officially, welcome.
Welcome to Rawkwardness.
Yeah.
What's up, Lindsey? Hello, thank you.
Hello.
Oh,
Thank you for having me. I'm unbelievably excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Well, we're very excited to have you here.
Yeah, and we're so glad you came prepared. You've got your
So
OG
prepared.
Did
laptop.
some homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Homework sucks. So thank you so much.
Well, I mean, some homework.
This homework's fun.
This is the
This
fun
was
homework.
fun.
You got
homework.
your original lyrics, original performances. The very, very first open mic you played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to all that very soon.
All of it.
All right. So where did music start for you? Did you like take piano lessons or?
Ooh, yeah. I was always just making up songs as a kid. I think about like breakfast and, like tried to perform for my parents' friends whenever they were over for dinner. And then
a song about breakfast. I just want, do you remember any lyrics, any topics?
I was unwrapping, what was it? One of those like microwavable like biscuit sandwich things
yeah.
wrapped in plastic.
Jimmy Dean's.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Jimmy Dean's ones. And I think I was like 8. And I do remember this one, my first song of the show. It was like, plastic, plastic. It's so fantastic.
Oh my God.
Plastic. I want to be made out of you. It's like an ultimate like anti-environmental anthem. So
Yeah, it's very pro-plastic. There's a lobby that is very excited that this song exists right now.
actively pitching it to them for licensing opportunities.
That's so sweet. You're just joyfully coming up with songs about everything.
Yeah. So I think that's how I found my way into music in general, was always like melody and songwriting. I wrote poems all the time when I was younger, some really moody ones when I was a teenager. I tried to find them. I went to poetry.com because I think I published them.
Oh, nice.
But
Thank you.
Show notes.
They must have disappeared at this point. But so alas, it was something like, behind this smile, by a mile, you'll never understand. Or so, I don't know. It was it was not good.
No, I feel that.
Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I mean,
That's the good stuff.
Peak emo teen,
Yeah.
or preteen, really. And then, I started taking piano when I was really young. I hated it, quit. Just the repetitiveness and the classical music. I wish I had stuck with it now, looking at the friends that, have that background. But wasn't quite in the headspace to really buckle down for that. And then
I know they should teach different things besides the classics, on piano, because I think more
I know,
people would
it
stick with
deters.
it.
Deters
Teach
kids.
them like John Bryan or something.
that would have been fun. And then had kind of a similar thing happen with guitar. I was 12 when I got my first guitar. It was just a really simple Fender of some kind. They used to make this really kid-focused classical guitar.
Oh, cool.
So I had that.
It was like a nylon string. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
fun.
a nylon. And then the teacher I went to, similar to piano, it was really classical guitar. And I was like,
No.
this, that's not what I want. And then
No more Bach.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I found, I got really into musical theater. So again, singing, performing, I think is always, and writing, primarily. But then, when I was 14, I think I found him on Craigslist. I was like, rock guitar teacher. And this guy was like, I teach rock guitar. So I convinced my parents to email him and that he wasn't a serial killer. And it was so transformative in that working with him, he really centered around, like, I would have poems and he would help me just think through the basics of, like, songwriting, really, and, like, arranging.
That's so sweet.
And, and, like, how to accompany yourself.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the main foundation that I think got me started. And it was so empowering, right, to suddenly be like, oh, I have this poem or whatever, and now I can, like, go play it as a complete song. So
Now I can make it a song.
So that was such a fun click at 15 that I could finish something.
I feel like, there's people who start playing guitar because they just like want to shred.
Yeah.
But I think, the other kind of person is the person that's like, well, I just want to know how to write stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to shred too, don't get me wrong. I'm like trying to practice more on that element of things now that I'm like playing the songs that I put out more recently, and they're far more involved than anything I've ever done myself before. So definitely, practicing every day again, which feels really good. But as a starting point for me, it was always like just wanting to make little songs and finish them.
And you were singing them, so like the instrumentation was just to back up like what you were coming up with.
Melodically. That's where it really started for me.
Yeah. Is that still how you like, or at least it was then how you write? You would write with a melody and like put a melody to poems?
Yeah, that's definitely how it started. And then when I was 15, a lot happened right around 15, 16. So I was curious to dig up what I was writing. But I booked a Disney Channel series, and that was when I moved from Texas to here. Was shooting that, and then had a very different experience of music. Sitting at a table with just all these kind of old men that have like a very predefined vision of who you can be and who you're going to sound like. And Disney has this pretty standard contract. Maybe don't put this in, I don't want to get sued. Disney has visions when they sign people on of how they want to present them, and going through some of that experience and having that on the table of just kind of like the machine pop star potential. I was obviously so excited to have the possibility of that just like floating in my life. I feel like that was my big dream at the time. Like I loved Lizzie McGuire. I think Hannah Montana was like just picking up. And I couldn't believe that was like in my realm of possibility. That world for me did not happen, but I'm so grateful, minus the fact that I have millions less than perhaps I would, that getting a taste of that and realizing like it wouldn't be my art at all. It would just be like my face and
You're
my
just
voice.
The face.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when I say my voice, even it's like highly modulated at that time too. So it let me, go back to what I was already kind of doing and just focus on my own stuff. And I don't think I really saw it as like something I could genuinely pursue until very recently. So I came to music, like actual music, real late. I know people that are like in college that start playing are like, oh, I'm so far behind. And I'm like, I just turned like 30.
We hear that from a lot of people.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm putting stuff out.
Wow.
It's always just been like a dear friend of mine to write music. But I finally was like, this is the thing that brings me truly the most joy in life. And why would I not give it a chance or like think that, not that like, oh, I'm so special, but seeing other people do it that are just like, they're just people that make time for it and dedicate, and put their heart in and like make it work.
Yeah.
And
100%.
There's no like secret sauce like, oh, you're allowed to have this dream, but you're not allowed. It's definitely been a newer development to really dedicate my like my big heart energy and like financially too to like really be on my own and be putting stuff out and be, you know, making decisions like professional work wise to be able to like fund this and have time for it and tour. And I have zero regrets, but definitely coming from like a small conservative town in Texas where, you know, a lot of people are already married with like multiple children.
Oh, for sure.
And just like the expectations of like signifiers of like adulthood or like you have it together and like your life is like on track. Like I feel like anyone creative doesn't necessarily like have those kinds of like societal markers that like pat you on the back.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's funny because, you know, you're a small town in Texas, like maybe if you had taken the Disney track, that would be something they could recognize as success.
Totally.
But then again, you know, like you said, it would maybe not be something that would make you happy, or you might, I mean, look at, you know, some of the other people that did go that way and the personal kind of turmoil that they've gone through as a result, probably.
Yeah. So it definitely put it on the back burner for a while of like something that felt like emotionally safe to really pursue again. So I like buckled down, went to school, got a history degree, taught English in Japan, worked at Condé Nast, and then
amazing.
That's so sweet.
Wait,
and then
so
moved back here.
Taught English in
Wow,
Japan?
it's really a shame your life fell apart.
Yeah.
after
No, it all like looking at it now, it like all worked out how it was supposed to. But
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the living in Japan. So you were teaching English.
I was, yeah.
Nice,
I
nice.
was part of this thing called the JET program where you are actually placed like in the public school system. And on my application, I was like just starting to get into meditating.
Oh,
so
cool.
I marked like rural because I was like, I'm going to go like sit amongst the rice paddies and meditate. Like, do I speak any Japanese? No. And they gave me exactly what I asked for.
Wow.
So I was in this incredibly remote town called Mugicho in Tokushima on Shikoku. And it was this like stunning beach town. And it's really small. Like everyone knew who I was. Or when my family was able to come out and visit at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were obligated to like have a meeting with the mayor for the like their welcoming ceremony.
That's
sweet.
It was like
awesome.
that level of small.
That's cool.
Or like I learned how to like finally write and mail a letter using Japanese characters, and like the whole postal staff like came out and like applauded and bowed, and
That's adorable.
was a really
That's actually
good
very
time.
sweet.
I know.
Yeah, it was magical, and I have no regrets. But it was definitely. It's a detour of what I would have anticipated, but out of it, like some of the best friends in my life. And I keep in touch with so many people from that community now, speak some Japanese.
That's cool.
Brought my guitar out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I remember nights playing, but
How long were you
That's
there?
so fun.
I was there for a year.
Here. Okay.
Wow.
Ugh, that sounds so
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I visited Japan for 2 weeks and I was like, can we just never leave?
Yeah. How do I stay
Also-
here now?
Also, everyone's
Seriously.
so obsessed with the cities, but the countryside is so beautiful.
It's so gorgeous. Yeah,
Slam it.
I feel like it does not get
No, I mean, it's like,
don't
Mount
credit.
Fuji or Tokyo. Like,
Totally.
That's all anybody knows over here.
But even making it out to like parts of Kyoto will like change your world for sure.
That's so neat that you got to spend a whole year.
Yeah, that's cool. You went out too.
Yeah, I mean, I just went for vacation, but
Terrence, we're next.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
All right, it's time.
We'll be right back.
yeah. but yeah, that's such a cool, like, I mean, I guess it's a gap year, really.
Yeah, that's kind of
Which is,
how
I feel like
looked at
something
it.
that Americans generally don't really do. So this was
Totally.
right after college?
Yeah, I was like, I have a history degree, and I was really convinced that I was going to go to law school.
Oh.
And just like go be a lawyer, and then
So you went from like, I'm going to be an actress and singer to I'm going to be a lawyer. Great.
yeah. But as soon as it got to like studying for the LSAT, I was just like, oh my gosh, this isn't it. Like, I'm only 21. I haven't lived. Like, I'm not ready to like suddenly go to law school. So then, yeah, Japan was definitely not like at the top of my mind in that moment. But I had a friend who mentioned JET program, and I'm just so infinitely grateful that they did. Like, truly, the way that time both like taught me how to sit with myself because there was a lot of silence since I didn't speak Japanese for like the first 5.5 months. And then also, just gave me some of like the dearest.
And what was the meditation you were getting into?
Just really simple, like Buddhist practices, like just learning how to like sit in silence for like start at like 3 minutes, go to 5, go to 10, go to 20, go to an hour. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. I also love that you asked for it and you got it.
I know.
They were very nice. They gave me exactly what I said.
Shout out to Jet.
Also, they were probably thrilled too because most kids that apply for this are probably like, I want to go to Tokyo. Like, send me to Osaka. And you're like, I'd like to go to the countryside. And you're like, great.
Give me as far as possible.
Yeah.
Although I did learn about halfway through, and I started using it, that there was a night bus that you could take from like the city a couple hours drive away from Mugi to Tokyo. So I would like drive and then take the night bus and then wake up in Tokyo, and always had such a fun
that sounds so fun. Like such a fun adventure.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and I think it like gave me the confidence of like, by the time I moved to New York, I was like, this is cake. Like the signs are in English. Like I got this.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
totally.
bet.
just, it like gave me some toughness I didn't have.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because people in Japan really don't speak English in any significant numbers.
Once you get out of like the major cities, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, even in Tokyo, like I found even people at hotel desks, like not
really
necessarily. Yeah.
Really?
There's good signage, but just.
Oh, wow. That kind of surprises me.
So New York must have been like amazing.
This is cake. I'll never get lost.
Speaking of cake, you do a cover, and it was amazing, by the way.
Short skirt, long jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I loved that so much when you played that at the residency.
Thank you. It was so fun. I still can't believe I got to open for Kelsey, who I know who is also on the show.
That's
homie.
episode 12.5.
Kelsey Air,
12.5.
the boy, the man,
Kelsey Air.
the myth, the legend.
Jazz of
Blue
Love,
Album
Local
Kid.
Native.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was your first show,
Comedian.
right?
That was, my first like proper show with this EP. Like the stuff I dug up from earlier, just like I was only just doing like open mics and stuff. But this was the first like, I'm like opening.
We got to be there.
Thank you for letting me mix it.
Yeah,
It's like,
Tony, you were just incredible. You made it all sound so gelled and good.
I appreciate it. No,
Yeah,
but it's not
you
about me.
sounded great.
I just want to say thank you for because I had such a good time, and you and Matt just slayed. And the
my
cake
gosh.
cover,
Yeah.
seriously, there was a
I
point where you were
can't-
like growling into the microphone.
I can't even tell you. Like
It was
I think,
so good.
I think I told
Yeah.
you that night too. But when you started playing that song, I was like wiggling.
Oh,
with
everybody
glee
was like, hold on. Yeah.
because I was a huge Cake fan, through high school and college for
gosh,
sure.
yes.
But that
So
song
good.
specifically was so significant to me because my best friend in college had a white Chrysler LeBaron.
No way. Yeah. Oh, so
Seriously?
this song was about you.
Well, no, it was just like anyway. So that just always stuck in my head, and anyway,
That's
it just
so
made me so
dope.
happy.
And I love that about songs in general, right? Like there's something that it could be so random to whoever's writing it, but then it's so like unexpectedly meaningful to people, like that one little piece of something. So
Totally.
that's
Right.
really
I
awesome.
mean, LeBaron just rhymed with Karen, obviously. But,
Genius.
But also, I remember thinking that her car was so cool because it was a convertible.
Oh, hey.
But in the song, it's like a practical choice.
That's so funny.
Thinking about chatting with you, Rose, I remember, I guess it was like 2.5 years ago. I feel like COVID melts everything, so I don't quote me on the timeline, but Matt and I had gone to meet one of my friends at a bakery.
Just what I needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Just what I
was
needed.
it just what I needed? Okay. Yeah. Just what I needed. Going for the first time. Was super excited to see this friend. I hadn't caught up with him forever. And we're like waiting and waiting for him and like holding this seat at this little table because it's a pop-in spot. And then you walk in with Spencer, and we were happy to share the table because my friend hadn't come yet. And then we were just chatting, and he never showed up. He was apparently really hungover and passed out. He's fine.
Hope he's okay now. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely was texting
It's
him
2
through
years
the
ago.
day, like,
It's
are
2 years
you
ago.
okay? But you were telling me about the podcast idea, and just
Yeah.
like it hadn't
We hadn't done anything
kicked
at that
off
point.
yet. No, just
Yeah.
like the seed of it. And I know I was telling you like, oh, I'm just like mixing these songs. I don't know what it's gonna be
And
yet.
here we
or,
are.
like,
That's right.
Celebrating
know.
both.
Yeah, you're like, actually, me and Matt have been playing some music together with our friend.
yeah, we did it, and you did it. It's such a nice like full
Yeah.
circle moment. To
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
to be
great.
sitting here.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we were, because I mean, what was that? It might have still been 2020 because we were all like masked
Could
up
have
until
been.
we
That's
ate.
so true. Yeah, and we were outside too.
Yeah, but yeah, that is really cool that like we talked about both of those things and now they're happening.
Yeah, well, just like the
I love
power
it.
of like actually starting and then like really seeing something through that I think, at least in my experience, like as you get older, it's like you have to fight for it more when it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
something creative or something that you have to like provide the momentum for.
Yep.
And I always feel so inspired by people that make things happen. And it's very cool to be sitting here looking at 3 folks that like did make something happen.
Well,
We're looking-
likewise.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, but
peas in a
isn't it
pod.
funny how like the first step is just starting. You just have to
Totally.
start.
But a lot of people
Everyone
can't get
starts
past
somewhere.
that. Everyone
Yeah.
starts somewhere, but then, sometimes it just ends.
Or sometimes they just don't.
Yeah. Or like the step
right.
after starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
That's the
hard
new
part.
motto for Rawkwardness. Not everyone starts somewhere, but those
most
who
people
do and continue go
Come on our show.
places. That's not going to fit all on the. We got to.
No, it's-
I think it's
We'll
great.
workshop it.
Yeah,
We'll-
we'll edit. But I actually wanted to rewind a
Yeah.
little bit and just talk a little bit about the fact that you're from this like tiny town in Texas,
I am.
and then the trajectory of your life since then. I mean, LA and New York and Japan
Yeah.
and just though I really appreciate that you're wearing a camo t-shirt right now. This is how I know you're from Texas.
I don't hunt, but I
That-
do like it.
That and the frozen sausage
That's a
biscuit
super
sandwich.
it's a poetically artistic camo shirt. It's like
Thank you.
it's
Yeah, I
it
love
looks
it.
like it's camoed and like you'd hide in a rose bush. Like
Oh, I like that. But yeah, thrift store in Dallas.
oh no way.
Nice.
For all your camo needs.
Yeah.
For your so like I mean like how small are we talking?
Oh.
What town?
It's called Colleyville.
Colleyville.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Any
it.
bells rung? No.
No.
Yeah, it's outside Dallas Fort Worth. It's when I say town, it's quite a bit more developed now and has like all the suburb essentials. But I do remember growing up, like how big of a deal it was when like it got its first Starbucks, and I was like,
yeah.
like now Colleyville's on the map.
Yeah.
Target.
Yes, a Target.
It's, oh my God. Yeah. That is like the town I grew up in was like that.
Totally,
Too.
like it's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like a rural town for quite a while, and especially where we grew up, a bit on the outskirts. I think I'm still the youngest ever registered member of the Colleyville FFA. So, Future Farmers of America.
Do you have the jacket?
Yeah.
Do you have the
Yes.
jacket?
Oh, I definitely have the jacket. I mean, it's like
Nice.
small. I was a kindergartner, so it's a very small jacket. I wish it fit. Like,
That's so red. You still have it
So
though?
not high school. I
Yeah.
was thinking high school.
I would happily
Yeah.
wear it if it
fit,
could
yeah.
fit me. Yeah, it was just this big green jacket with a bull on the back.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but so grew up in that, had like goats and pigs and llamas and horses. And
You
was
had
like,
llamas?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
That's so
awesome.
we
cool.
did. So like a really idyllic like farm girl kind of like upbringing, juxtaposed with like just loving performing and singing and poems and my granny was always such a like ardent cheerleader and firm believer in me and encouraged me to like go online and like learn about acting agencies and like
That's
how
so
to,
sweet. Shout out
like,
Granny.
yeah, how to get auditions and
That's
whatever.
amazing.
And just like she was like, you could go to Juilliard and like I don't know,
Aw,
just
I love that.
yeah, like really gave me this like honestly like unearned confidence at the time. Yeah, that like I could like,
Well, just that
have
it's
this be
even an
something
option.
valid.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
possibility.
Totally.
The possibility is totally earned.
Well, that's actually
know?
like a
Yeah.
perfect segue because I was going to ask you, how did you go from Colleyville to auditioning for this
Yeah.
Disney Channel show? Because I mean, that's like a pretty,
That's
yeah.
That's a
self-tape
massive hop.
days.
Well, I mean,
know.
you weren't even in
Was
you weren't even in
pre-self-tape days.
California.
No, but I started going to this like acting for film teacher, Catherine Sullivan. Shout out to her; she was great. And it's kind of like this core group of Disney kids of that era went there. Like I used to be really close friends with Demi Lovato. Selena Gomez went there.
In Texas?
Yeah, out
Wow.
in Louisville.
Look at that.
A lot of vills.
Yeah, a lot of
in that
those.
area.
It makes sense.
Yeah, checks out. Yeah.
So we were all kind of in that, I don't know if scene is the right word, but in that group of classes. And Catherine was the one that let me know that Disney, I don't know if they still do it now that like, especially in the world of self-tapes, but they would do these giant open calls. And obviously in LA, New York, but Dallas was one of the spots that they stopped at too, as well as Miami.
Wow.
And my parents were not stage parents at all. I think when I actually did book something, they were kind of like, "Oh no."
You're like scared, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, like, does this mean we have to go to
Now
California?
what? But yeah, I mean, I did one of those open calls and nothing major happened from that. But then out of that, like probably 7 months later, my agent at the time got a call from them that they wanted me to read for this part for a pilot. And I ended up booking that. And then it didn't get picked up. It was called Life Bites and I loved it.
Do you have like the tape from it and stuff?
Oh,
or?
you know, I don't have that on me. I'm sure my dad does if you want me to dig it up or
Hey,
something
if you,
after the
if
fact.
you happen to put it on YouTube
But-
somewhere and you want us to put in show notes, that could
So
be
funny.
a thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was kind of like an Even Stevens type plot. It was like this brother and
Sure.
sister.
Was that the same era?
Yeah, around that
Okay.
time. And then after that didn't get picked up, that was when I got offered this spot on a show called As the Bell Rings and was hopping back and forth between LA and Texas at the time. Like 15, 16, I was suddenly like, I mean, it was just happening, right? Like I got
awesome.
an agent out here, a manager, and I think it all, like I did really work my ass off as a kid going to these classes and like going, I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to like hundreds and thousands of auditions where like I got a big fat no, but just to like have a door open and be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, out of like thousands of girls, like I got this.
Yeah.
And it was my mom and I just remember us like renting a car and there's no hills, obviously where I grew up, and like driving Sunset to try to like get to some casting and like we're both crying like going up these hilly streets.
What's happening?
I
Yeah.
can just
La
imagine.
Cienega is brutal. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, La Cienega where it meets Sunset. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or like cutting from like the west side down to all the auditions that were in the valley. At the
Oh, taking Laurel
studios.
Canyon.
Yeah,
was
Laurel,
probably
just sure,
Laurel
yeah.
Canyon was like the death of me. But
I can just imagine.
It's amazing. You worked so hard, and like it's true. Like just like thousands of auditions, and you get no's, and then you get the big
nothing.
yes, and
Yeah.
it's really like you should feel really proud of that. That's really great stuff.
I mean, honestly,
you.
even just getting that part in the pilot is
Yeah,
so much
right?
more than most.
Yeah, followed
know.
by like 8,000 no's after
Sure, yeah.
experience too. Like
Yeah.
I was still pretty avidly acting for several years after that, and I mean, I don't know. I still have an agent. I go out for things occasionally, but I think music has definitely. It's always been like the first love,
Yeah.
and
Took a front seat.
yeah, and now
Yeah.
it's cool that it's like moving back into the driver's seat. But
Yeah, and speaking
yeah.
of, so you told us a little bit that you played your first open mic at Kulak's Woodshed in the Valley.
I did,
Which is like this legendary spots. I mean, I remember first hearing about that, like, oh, this is a place you should play because they record you or something.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like-
exactly.
yeah, which is at the time, it was this super high tech operation of just like, whoa, they record you.
Did you like go home with a CD or something?
I think I
Is
did.
that how that worked?
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
that reminds me of a
Yep.
long gone karaoke place in Burbank that I used to love.
Oh,
Dimples.
hey.
Dimples.
Yeah,
they would
shout
send
out
you,
Dimples.
They
I
would
love
send
that
you
name.
home
I do
with.
too.
They would send you home with a CD.
Oh my gosh,
That's
that's,
right.
so
Of
epic.
you doing karaoke? That's hilarious.
It was right
Mildly
outside.
terrifying.
Yeah, the Universal
Wow.
lot.
That was
It was
fun.
like right by there.
That's-
yeah.
There's a Whole Foods there now, actually.
Oh,
a Whole Foods. Okay.
R.I.P. Dimples. feels.
Yeah. But yeah,
really funny.
so how did that place come on your radar and
Yeah.
you got the courage to play it?
Yeah, I had a new guitar teacher out here, and he encouraged me to go.
Yeah.
And I did.
Shout out guitar teacher.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Scott.
Scotty.
Yeah, and had a really great, scary time. I remember I was so nervous that despite acting and like memorizing things all the time, I like wrote the lyrics on my arm just in case.
Smart.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I was like so sweaty and nervous, as didn't matter at all. But
It's there.
yeah, exactly. Like the safety in that. And it was really, I think, great to just like be. That was the first time I had like outside of kind of like the Disney realm performing for a bunch of old men. Just like being in like a more like normal audience experience, and like also you're in a room when it's an open mic, it's a bunch of other artists too. So I feel like there was like this automatic kind of like sense of like respect and like camaraderie of people.
Well, and you were
like,
playing
cheering
your
each other
own
on.
music.
Yeah. First
That's so
time.
cool.
Yeah.
So was this like at the same time that you were doing the Disney show?
Yeah, it was a little after, because it was definitely after that had all started. And I used a different name because I didn't want it to be like attached to like the Disney stuff or like have people know.
Like your music name was different?
Yeah, because some of the material was like darker. And,
Gotcha.
it was like far more angsty.
So what was your artist name?
I used my middle name and my grandmother's maiden last name, so it was Annie Reynolds is who I said I was.
Oh, wow.
Wow, very covert.
I was gonna say you chose like a really like
just super like nondescript. Yeah, because I just wanted to like know what it would feel like.
So you brought it in on the laptop.
I did bring it in, and how I found it was like holding it in as we were setting up. But I was locked out of this email, had no idea what the password was. Stems. Yeah, it was like, I think I made it in middle school, so it's lovable, LUVABLE, trouble 22 at AOL.
Yes.
So
22.
was trying to get into it. Yeah, my birthday's February 2nd.
Nice.
And the way that I got in, y'all, is that I Googled the email address and I found out that someone had hacked in and it was leaked and the password was public.
Are you serious?
Hack page. So I was able to log back in.
Sweet, I can get back into my email.
My password was just like sitting
It was on
publicly.
Google for you.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah. Some like hack website was like all
Yikes.
these leaked accounts. I haven't used it since.
But that's
I gotta
hysterical
Google my
because like
emails. Hold on, be right back.
because like but also like anyone who tried to like get in there was like, oh, there's no credit card information.
No, I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it was
That's
a really
hilarious.
a lost cause for anyone, looking for something. But yes, that's how I got back in and have these for you.
Well, it's gold for us.
Yeah, I'm
So
thrilled.
we're glad
And
you got in
guess
there.
thank the hacker.
Yeah,
Yeah, for being
honestly,
a
I did
douche.
have a deep moment of gratitude for them having done that. Should I play some?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
even just whatever.
Oh, was there the song? Like,
Oh.
you want to say something about the song you play?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to also disclaimer, like, this is in a coffee shop. It's probably loud, and I didn't listen all the way through, so I don't know what they sound like. But yeah, I'll give you a whirlwind tour of this. I think I played 3 songs. This is called Apple in the Bathroom. It's about middle school.
And I won't go anywhere near the cafeteria at noon.
Dying.
I get so nervous, what can I say? Old habits won't go away. Middle school is still haunting me.
Okay, that's enough of that one. So silly.
So is that just about feeling out of place in middle school and like not wanting to go to the cafeteria because people were
Yeah,
mean?
it was just like, I think the bridge on that is something like, girls who were so cold, I guess rejection never got old because now I am an actor in a like ha 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 or whatever. I don't know, something like ridiculous.
I do love that you connected the dots though.
So there's that, and then I mean, there's two that are like more like sad, moody girl songs, but that's probably.
Yes.
You want some of it?
So
yes,
go on.
please.
Okay. Ooh, let's see. Okay, I'll play the beginning of this one. My parents got divorced, and I would, again, like to asterisk now, my father and I have a really great relationship.
Oh,
Everything's
good.
good, but I was like not stoked at the time.
You just put one foot in front of the other. Well, it's keeping me together, keeping me sober and fine. Unlike my father.
Ouch. Salty.
In October, always drinking. It's not okay, but it's fine.
So that's that one.
So wait, what was the line? It was keeping me sober and what?
You just put one foot in front of the other. It's keeping me together. It's keeping me sober. I'm fine. What was that one?
That was beautiful, though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, actually, I was
How
like,
old were you again?
Yeah, I'm like, that was actually pretty good.
I wrote it on my 16th birthday.
Okay.
And I was sitting, I had like a little USB mic, and I would like go in my closet and record those. But yeah, so I was 16. I think probably when I wrote all of these. But
One
it's
more,
fun to,
one more.
fun to
Yeah,
discover
One more
these.
small clip.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
We
really,
love snacks and
I
candy.
feel like we're all like in the closet with listening to your like little recordings.
No,
just, like,
I really love like actually hearing Baby Lindsey because usually we're hearing people like play their old stuff with their present.
Yeah, I know you're
Skills, yeah.
hearing baby Lindsay. Okay.
About whatever it means to you.
Really articulate.
What you see is not what I see.
clean up on table 2.
Your
Right.
advice is not what I think I need. It's a dangerous game, but I can't stop playing until I've won all of the pieces are gone. The power that comes from being restricted
Whoa, I haven't thought of this song in so long.
is killing me, but God, it's so damn addictive, and I can't stop whenever I want. I'm just not going to until I've won all of the pieces are gone.
Okay, that's that one.
Wow.
Thank you.
I love that I'm what is it? I'm not going to stop unless I want to, and I'm not going to, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I was definitely struggling with some like eating disorder stuff. I think just coming out of Disney and the divorce and like wanting to find something to like have control over. And I think like rediscovering this, can I call it a set? This open mic experience was like having that apple in the bathroom song like juxtaposed with something like the other two that are definitely like more like intense experiences. I think it so speaks to like being right in the immortal words of Britney Spears, like I'm not a girl, not yet a woman, right? Like you're like starting to straddle like adult shit, but you're still a kid in so many ways.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, I mean, you're having these like real things happening in your life that actually have
Exactly.
consequences and emotional weight. And in your case, I mean, you were actually working,
yeah.
like, and trying to have a career at a younger age than most people do. And yeah, that's like a very adult responsibility.
Yeah. But finding the playful moments of like, oh, middle school is
Yeah.
Sure,
still
but
here.
it's also kind of, I think says a lot too about just like how difficult that period of your life is too, and how
Yeah,
much
for
you're
everybody.
changing too. Because if you're
Totally.
going, the difference between being 13 and being 16, I mean, so much has happened to you in
So
those
much.
3
Oh, yeah.
years, whether you had stayed in Texas or not. Like,
everyone.
you're practically a different person. And so I
Yeah.
think that's interesting that we have that little like arc in that 1 3-song set.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people really love to like write off teenagers' experience, and it's like, no, there's a lot going on, and sometimes there's actually like external things going on too, but just the internal is enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, looking back at it, I know that I felt like so adult at the time.
Yeah.
And now being this 30-year-old woman, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
baby Lindsay,
Baby Lindsay.
She had
come
no
gather around the
idea.
fire.
Yeah.
Like, you're okay.
How offended baby Lindsay would have been to be
Oh my
called
God.
baby Lindsay,
Absolutely
probably.
pissed. Devastated.
Yeah.
I love that you have a recording of it too, because it's just like it really feels like that feeling of your first time playing, where it's like this is really important, and just
Yeah, the
like
stakes.
it's very high stakes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're playing,
Totally.
and just like the cop car in the background is so LA. It's just like
Right.
it's
Well,
just
yeah.
it's such a time capsule, and
It
watching
is.
you listening to it, I don't know,
Oh, it was
it's
amazing.
Like, yeah, it was
it
like
was awesome.
the whole point of this entire show, which
Well,
is like
I could see you remembering.
you know,
Aw.
it's like that scene in Amelie where the guy finds the
Love
little
that
box
movie.
with the toys and just kind of like, oh yeah, that's the show.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
God for hackers. I
Yeah,
guess.
yes.
Should
I
have
know.
lost.
So speaking of old songs, though, did you bring us one that you were going to play?
I did bring one.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay, this is super baby Lindsay, and I think this is like a funnier one, and also, I think I was like so like middle school, high school, also like going through my queer awakening, if you will, as a bisexual woman, and was so scared of it at the time, coming from Texas, and I was like raised Christian and like a very conservative, not like cool Christian, like scary, like fire of hell Christian.
Yeah.
And I think this, looking back and discovering this song, I think I was like really trying to double down on like being a straight girl, but it's a funny one, and I haven't gotten to experience it in so long, so we'll see what happens. Oh, I suddenly feel very nervous. It is called Cat Lady, so I hope you enjoy. Okay, here we go, Cat Lady. My friend got married yesterday. Because we're in Texas and people are getting married young. She looked pretty and I looked pretty single. Something about a wedding day in another bridesmaid's gown has got me fearful, because it's very normal for people to get married as teenagers. No, I'm too young to be worried. No, I'm too young to be concerned. But I don't wanna be a cat lady where all my dinner dates have to eat on the floor. I don't wanna be a cat lady where the only aisle I walk down is at the pet store. I've got my tuned up guitar strings, a piece of paper and an almost dry blue pen. Guitar picks are much cheaper than engagement rings and far more convenient. No, I'm too young to be nervous, but oh, honey, I am. 'Cause I don't wanna be a cat lady do. I just wanna know that someday someone will come up to me saying I do. Saying I do. 'Cause I don't wanna be a cat lady where all my dinner dates I have to eat on the floor. I don't wanna be a cat lady where the only aisle I walk down is at the pet store. At the pet store. Meow.
That's so good.
God.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
awesome. You're
I
hilarious.
love that.
So much. I love
That
it
was amazing.
so much. Oh my gosh. And you're how old?
friends.
You're like 16?
Yeah, probably like 15, 16. Well, yeah, I must have been 16 if I was in people's weddings.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So
So-
sweet.
You're like, well, I'm an old maid now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
It's done.
No, but it's so good. It's like sort of Phoebe from Friends vibes, but like you're a way better
yeah.
singer. And it's funny because if you hadn't been that young when you wrote it, a lot of it would, like nobody would bat an eye. It would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a familiar feeling, But the fact that you were in high school, it's like,
Suddenly like, oh, I'm a washed up hag.
yeah, I'm an old maid. I'm a spinster. I'm
Totally.
doomed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's funny. We had another guest who played us a song he wrote when he was like 15 or 16,
sick.
and it was literally called "It's Too Late." I think
Yeah.
that is Pete Molinari. It's funny because a lot of his songs sound sort of world weary, but the fact that he wrote this song about
Yeah.
like it's too late when
It's
he was like
over.
16 years old, it's like
Yeah.
You're like, dang.
have a little perspective, kid.
Oh, that's the thing. It's like you feel so old and like the stakes are so high. And
Oh, everything's
Yeah.
so important.
You also
Yeah.
went through a lot early.
yeah.
That's true.
Did you have cats growing up?
I did have cats. I know. It's like, I mean, it's not that I don't like cats.
I like that you threw that in there.
Actually,
That
you
was my favorite
really
part.
do.
I love your song has a disclaimer in it. Songs need more disclaimers in them. Like,
I don't
know.
want anybody to
but
think
really,
I don't like cats.
I feel this, but I'm singing about it. Like,
But really, I feel
I know
this.
now. I'm like, I'd love to be a cat lady. I want to have like a cattery.
yeah, cattery.
Cattery.
Cat cafe.
And yes, Matt and I, my partner, have like a very beloved cat child named Peach. So,
Oh, shout out to
Peach.
Matt. Love
Yes.
you,
Oh,
Matt.
and
Yay.
Peach.
yes.
So-
And Peach. I've never
You
met
can
you,
have
Peach, but can't
cats
wait.
in your life
You
and
can
still have
it
love.
all. You can be a
Yeah.
cat lady and find love.
Okay, let me write that down. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved that so much. I can't even. The defeatist teen part of it, and then like, we don't want anybody to think we don't like cats.
It's just very important to know that, like, give me all the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are today, and many years later, and finally, like your true love of music, you're reunited.
And it feels so good.
It feels so good. So tell us about this, like,
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I want to hear about Subterra.
coming into now. Yeah. Well, my
and yeah, why Subterra, the name and all
Yeah.
that.
So many
stories.
things. All
Yeah.
right.
because I was a nerd that went to Christian school and had to study Latin, but is the short answer. But yeah, my granny, the one that was my like biggest kind of creative cheerleader, she passed away in June of 2020, and a year or two prior to that, she ended up developing dementia. So it was a really slow, long goodbye. But when she was still really lucid, she just said, like, you really have it with music, and like don't let depression win, or like trust in yourself. And I mean I wrote it down after that call because I was like, wow, that was really important. Like, I need to remember that. And then, like, of course, put it on the back burner to like, well, I live in LA and have to pay rent. But when she passed, I feel like it ripped open this sense of urgency of like, I feel, sadness that like I didn't necessarily, I know she wouldn't feel like I like let her down or something, but like I didn't get the chance to like, or I just didn't work on it sooner to, like have stuff out that I could like have her flown out to a show for or something. And I thought a way that I could honor her was like really, really showing up for this dream of mine and not second guessing it and just really going for it. So I feel like it was kind of like the last, I shouldn't say last, I sense her all the time, but her passing, like when, I don't know if gift is the right word, but one thing out of it that I think she would be joyful that she contributed to was just this impetus of like, you got to get your shit together. Like if you want to do this, like if you really, really want to do this, like you have to start making it happen for yourself. So I like started teaching myself Ableton. I started writing again all the time. And then I met Matt, and he was such a sweet cheerleader too on things. And Matt connected me to his friend growing up, who you've also had on this podcast,
John Velasquez.
Oh, shout out John. Love you, buddy.
Super shout out to John. Yeah, because I was working on some songs I was really excited about, but I like was having trouble just like finishing them.
Yeah.
And like I mean I love music. So just wanting to like put out songs that felt like the kind of music that I would actually want to listen to and not just these kind of like guitar babies. I mean, I love like simple acoustic songs too, don't get me wrong, but I just like, I wanted like a bigger world.
A song that you want a playlist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so John had just started getting into like producing more ardently. And we really hit it off as co-writers and like shared similar production visions. So we, and Matt also was of like an incredibly important co-producer in this, which was a really fun experience. And
he played all the drums, right?
yeah, he played all the drums, but he also like had a very active production role throughout that EP too, which is a really cool experience to see that like the person I love, that we can be creative together in a way that we don't want to like kill each other.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, that's I mean, not everybody can.
No,
I mean, no matter how good their relationship is.
totally. Yeah. So it was awesome to be like, oh wow, we can share this too when we want to, and wrote these 4, more, but 4 that like fully made it out songs. I mean, I think mostly centered on grief and navigating loss and, the way the world keeps spinning and you kind of find your footing again. But Subterra, it translates to like underground. And I think that's like so what that period felt like, of just like
heavy
being on the, like I was watching a lot of Stranger Things, so kind of like moving through the upside down, right? Like everything is the same, but everything is completely fucking different. Like you go outside and it's like, yeah, I'm like going on the same walk, but like it's like on the wrong axis now because like I can't call my granny. And like making those songs felt so important. And I wanted songs that I thought my granny would be proud of. And I like, no matter like how I got in my head about like, is it good? Can I do it? Should I really put it out? I was just like, I promised Granny I would do it. So, those songs they started rolling out as singles last February, and then the full EP came out this past August. And it was such a euphoric feeling to put my music out, that, so these are songs that I wrote, not the old men in the tower in Burbank, and getting to, collaborate on them and bring them to life with like a dear friend and my love. And
that's so amazing.
See them get to come out and to see them like get some really cool moments too. Not that that's what it's about, but like I had no idea that like one of them, Clutch, was gonna like get on an editorial playlist. Like I had 0 traction at that point, so that was awesome.
That's a great song.
And just,
it's so good.
Thank you. Just like getting some cool little interview moments with like under the radar or buzz bands, and that was so motivating too. Like that's not what it's about, obviously, but like it is validating to be like, oh, someone
that you're like Googleable.
Yeah, you're Googleable and it's helpful for your career. It's all good.
It just was like, oh,
exciting.
It's like it can be real, and
So
just
Mark,
like
you're
starting to
doing the
get
right
like a
thing.
little glimmer of momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so freaking awesome. And then when Kelsey asked me to open for him, it was just such a like emphatic yes.
You're
and
like, there we
then-
go.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
said yes, but then I was also like, holy shit, I have no idea how to like play the parts of these songs and like
Right, like, oh, wait a minute.
yeah.
This has to come out of the studio
Yeah,
now.
so we had like 2 months, and like, I mean, I had no idea what I was doing outside of like, I can like play piano and guitar, but like, I didn't grow up like in bands. I mean, I grew up playing guitar, and I grew up like, I mean, on the Disney side where it's like everything is like already done. You just
You're not
sing.
even. And
No.
sometimes you're not even really singing. You're just like it's a pre-recorded.
Totally,
anyway.
totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yeah.
they like use that voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just was like, how do I anything? And he was like, get the stems and then we'll figure it
Well,
out.
I actually think that is actually kind of huge, and you're very brave because I mean, just knowing that the person you're playing with has been in like a really well-known touring band for over a decade would really psych me out.
Oh, it did for
Yeah.
me too, for sure. But it's also like, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's my honey.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely, I practiced alone a lot before we did like a group practice. But no, Matt was so instrumental. But truly, yeah, like in helping me figure out for the first time, like how to take a very like, not complex and like, wow, it's so fancy and hard, but just a song with a lot of tracks, like Clutch.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. And figure out, okay,
Like,
in a
how do
live
we even do this
setting,
live?
if there's 2 of us, like how many things can each of us do at the same time? Also knowing like I had never played bass before in my life, but I was so committed to like, I'm going to play the bass line and sing.
You slayed.
No, thank you.
It was awesome.
It was like, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, practice goes a
so-
long way.
Totally. Well, yeah, that was such a great reminder too of like when, because when you're an adult, you don't necessarily have like homework unless you're literally in school. So like building out like, I don't know, I'm a pretty dorky person. I like made a syllabus for myself of like, okay, this is like week 1, week 2.
Not dorky,
is-
smart.
That's
Very
awesome.
smart.
I was going to say
Yeah.
it's adorable, but it's also a really good idea.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and it was really helpful. And also, yeah, at the end of it was so empowering and makes me so stoked to like be gearing up to like go do some South by Side stuff and then start doing like SoFars and touring in other cities. But yeah, it was just such a good reminder because like as an adult, you have to like choose to make those moments for yourself. And I mean, yeah, when I said yes to Kelsey, I had no idea how we were going to actually do it. And I was, one, incredibly fortunate that Matt was able and willing to spend so much time just like kind of pep talking me of like, you can do it, but also like very tangibly like helping me break out the stems and figure out like, I mean, he did so much on that show, like beyond drums, he was like triggering a zillion things. He was playing guitar.
Oh, yeah. It sounded
playing
huge
bass.
for 2 people.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's also like, even if Matt wasn't like your partner, having a collaborator who's so invested and supportive,
Well,
I
and
think.
so
Oh, yeah.
talented too.
So talented.
I mean,
You're doing it.
yeah,
That's awesome.
going for
I mean,
it.
your granny would be so proud of you. You're living music. You're doing it full time,
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel very much at the beginning, but
Isn't
yeah.
that funny?
Yeah, well, I know because like looking back 2 years ago, it's a good reminder to be like, you're doing great.
You're making
Yeah.
great strides in a short period.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
just
you're
like you all
cruising.
too. Yeah, like it's good to I don't know remember where you were like 2 years ago and how
Yeah.
like I don't know because it's easy I think to get caught up in like but all this stuff that I like want or like need to have happen next, and it's like also important to just be like I gotta enjoy this like this part of it too.
Yeah. And you know what? Everyone starts somewhere.
That's right.
Well, or was it not everyone starts somewhere?
Not everyone starts somewhere, but the people who start continue with it.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yes,
We're still
exactly.
workshopping.
Yeah.
You're crushing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, do you have a current thing you want to play for us live here in our studio?
Oh man, I don't know if I brought my capo. Because I was like, I'll play Violet, but
Oh, love
I don't
Violet.
think I have it.
Shoot, that's like the one thing I don't have is a capo.
I do have a
I can come hold it.
hairband. This might work. Hold on, we'll see.
The human capo.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So what did you just do? You put a hair tie as a capo?
Yeah.
That is so
I
crafty.
think it might work. Let's see.
Are you taking a photo? Good.
see.
That's amazing.
This is like the hacks you learn on this podcast. It's full of information like
I'm
this.
gonna laugh if my cape is actually in my bag. No, it's not. But yes, it does seem like it's
Oh my God, that's great.
gonna work.
Yeah.
Kind of. Tony, would you mind pulling my hair tie tight while we do this? I was gonna be like, you wanted to pull your hair? Yeah, I think if you just like keep it taut, we can do it together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think that's
You
fine.
got video with this too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Okay. Yeah, this song. Thank you so much.
I got you.
This song is called Violet, and it is the first song that John and I wrote together, and it is also is about my beloved grandmother Dale.
Wake up, you leave Chanel #5, lipstick Bible. I sort of believed if I paint myself in vacant signs, the neon lines will bring you home to me. But it's pouring inside. It's pouring inside. This violet grief. It's pouring inside. It's pouring inside. And I can't breathe. Thank you so much. One glass, the line. 2 drinks, I start to think of you. 3 and I can turn back time. Time. Why can't I walk you home? But it's pouring inside. It's pouring inside. This violet grief. It's pouring inside. It's pouring inside. And I can't breathe. Trees in the line. Trees in the line. Knowing spring is on the other side, but it's pouring inside. It's pouring inside. This violet grief. It's pouring inside. It's pouring inside.
Tony the capo. Are you okay?
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Love that song so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for just sharing with us and just everything. Thank you, Tony, for being a capo.
Thank you, Tony, for being a capo.
Oh, don't thank me at all. That was seriously so beautiful. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Hero.
Again, you've let me be a part of so many firsts with you.
So many firsts. Oh my gosh, that's so
Have you ever had a human capo?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
What an unbelievable pleasure to share that experience with you.
Yeah, honestly, thanks so much for writing these songs and for sharing them and just for
Thank you.
living your musical dream.
Lindsey Rose Black. Check her out everywhere. Seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you all so
Lindsay.
much. I'm so honored to have been here.
I am just in pure bliss over the coffee shop recordings of Baby Lindsey.
Same.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
amazing.
it was just so special to hear her little teenage voice.
Kind of felt like we were there.
Well,
know.
I mean, really, all the little dish noises and like the traffic and
The
yeah.
siren passes by, and it's just like, how LA is that?
Yeah.
And it was
a moment.
so beautiful to be able to like watch her face while she watched that video. You could just see her going back there. It was really beautiful to
Time
witness.
capsule, yeah.
Yep.
And I loved her live song too, The Cat Lady. It actually, I mean, it was funny, of course, but it actually kind of reminded me. You guys remember Pete Molinari's song?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny that these teenagers were writing songs about like being all washed up when they're like 15 or 16. We love that on Rawkwardness.
We love that.
But not remotely washed up. You've got to check
Nope.
out the Subterra EP on Spotify, and I have it on good authority that there is more music coming soon. So make sure you follow Lindsey on Instagram for updates at Lindsey with an E, Rose Black. I also wanted to mention a podcast we're really into right now. The Thank You for Saying No podcast with Kenya Rothstein is about finding meaning in life's unexpected turns. The conversations on the pod are about finding ways to be thankful when we've been told no or when situations don't work out how you thought they would. It will inspire you that when things don't go according to plan, it can still work out, potentially even better than you ever imagined. And that is a vibe we get down with here. We've definitely heard those kind of stories on Rawkwardness as well. So please check out the Thank You for Saying No podcast with Kenya Rothstein. You're welcome. You can follow us as well on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Rawkwardness. We would love to keep in touch. Please subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us show up in the evil corporate overlords' algorithms.
That's true.
Thank you for listening to Rawkwardness, where we are neither artificial nor particularly intelligent. Love you. See you next time.
Bye.